So it seems like everybody and their mother right now is teaching everybody to sell AI. Voice AI, marketing AI, cat AI, everybody's fucking selling AI. And then the people that are teaching you how to sell the AI, funny enough, they sell a course on teaching you how to sell AI. So they just higher up in the pyramid. But anyway, the reason that, and I know this video is going to be a little bit controversial, I don't believe that selling AI is the best business opportunity in 2025, and I want to explain to you why, and what I think is actually the best or better solution. Now, I'm not saying that AI is a bad thing. I use a lot of AI. I have a team of 3 developers on my team right now working full-time that help me implement AI infrastructure into both of my businesses. But I think just selling AI is a fundamentally flawed model, and I'm going to run you through why I think that is and what the new solution is that is probably a better option that is way less saturated than AI infrastructure right now. And the reason that you should listen to me, just for context, is because over the last 3 years, I've scaled my marketing and AI agency to $3 million a year by the age of 19. And with both of my businesses collectively, I'm on track to do about $4.5 million this year with about $2 to $3 million in profit, okay? That being said, what do businesses actually need? Now, again, who am I? I've already told you. I run an agency doing $3 million a year, selling marketing and AI infrastructure to medical clinics. I also run a licensing program for agencies, helping them scale from 0 to 10 and then 10 to 100 and beyond. And I went from 0 to where I am now in the last 3 years. And now my mission is to help people do the same. And I've took already multiple people to 7 figures a year. Now, I make videos like this for 3 reasons. Number 1 is status. I have the natural human desire to feel important, and providing value helps me do that. So thank you for feeding my insecurities. Number 2, to make money. I know that if you consume my content and I provide a lot of value, sooner or later you're going to buy my program. And number 3, connections. I want to connect with cool people doing cool shit. Now, that being said, the reason that I'm not a fan of the typical like AI agency model is a number of different reasons. The first thing is the fundamental law behind any business is you make money when value is created. And value is created when a problem is solved and pain is alleviated. And the thing that I see with AI is a lot of people really obsess over the fulfillment method on like, oh, I need to sell AI. When you go to sell somebody something, nobody's waking up in the morning, no business owner is going, man, I really need AI today, right? They wake up thinking about their problems. They wake up thinking about, I need more clients. My content system is slow. I'm going to go out of business if I don't hire somebody new on my team who can manage all of the clients that are coming in our door. They're the type of problems that they think about. They don't think, oh, I really need AI right now, right? And most AI agencies are built on, like this is the second argument, they're kind of built on a fundamentally flawed model where they're selling like one-time AI infrastructure where they will sell like one singular content AI system or a conversational AI. And the problem with that is you really only have to sell it once. And if you only sell it once, then you're not going to make as much money as if you were selling a recurring service or solving a recurring problem, right? I know people hate the SMMA model now and it's kind of died out, but if you think about why that was so successful, simply because if you run Facebook ads for somebody or you run Google ads for somebody, it's not just a one-time thing. Somebody doesn't just come and pay you $5K and go, okay, you've solved my problem. It's a recurring service where they're going to pay you $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 every single month, right? And that's the reason that I'm not a huge fan of just selling singular AI agents. Now, can you make this model work if you're solving one problem with one AI agent and then continuously solving more problems for that specific prospect? You absolutely can. What I mean by that is if you look at the model of like restaurants, what do? You come in the restaurant, you order food. What is the first problem? You're hungry and you're bored while you wait for your food. So the solution is they bring you pretzels, popcorn, salty snacks. And then what happens when they bring you salty snacks? That is intentional because they solve your problem and they know that a future problem is going to come up when they solve that problem. And that future problem is that salt is not only going to make you more hungry, but it's also going to make you thirsty, and that's when they upsell you on premium drinks, cocktails, etc., etc. We want to do the same thing for our AI clients, where if we're going to, say, install a AI conversational AI agent that's going to nurture their leads, we then want to solve the next problem as a part of that equation, where the next problem might be, okay, we've got this conversational AI, we don't have enough leads. So then a solution to that would be, oh, we'll actually install an image and video ad creation AI that's going to script out all your video ads, create prompts that are going to make your image ads for you, and launch them and manage them completely done for you. That would be a prime example of you bolting on a recurring service to the existing AI model that I believe is fundamentally flawed, okay? And if we understand like the principles behind why like this one-time service doesn't necessarily work is the only reason people pay you money is to solve a problem. And you get paid in correlation to the level of complexity associated with the problem and the pain you alleviate. Think about Elon Musk. Why is he a billionaire? Probably because he solves the most complex problems on this planet, okay? Therefore, the more complex of a problem that you can solve, the more money that you are going to make. An example of that would be, let's say you have a minor headache, right? You might just take a cheap over-the-counter painkiller, but if you have extreme chronic migraines that are going to impact your ability to work, you can't can't walk, you can't sleep, you'll pay a specialist thousands of dollars to solve that problem. Therefore, the more painful and complex the problem, the more money that people will pay to solve it. And to give you another example of this in my life, I live in Dubai, right? I've been living here for like 3 or 4 months, recently moved here for tax, to be honest with you. I know it's looked down upon, but still. And I had just had like a random bump pop up on the back of my spine, and I was doing sit-ups. I was like, what the fuck is this? This is really uncomfortable. And then it got to a point where I was really struggling to like walk. It was super uncomfortable. I could barely sleep. And I didn't think anything of it until it became super painful. And then the doctor basically said that I needed immediate surgery. And I had 2 options. Option 1 was I could fly back to the UK and get on a waiting list and get the surgery for free with no guaranteed date when it will be done. Or, number 2, because I didn't have health insurance, stupidly enough, I could pay $7,000 out of pocket in Dubai for private surgery, but get surgery the next day. Now, I paid the premium, obviously, and I paid that because of certainty and speed, and because the pain associated with the problem was far greater than the amount I'd have to pay to get the surgery. And I know this is a little bit of a side tangent, but the reason I bring this up is because, again, people sell outcomes, not the method. People don't give a shit if you help them solve their problem with AI, if you knock on people's door to door, if you outsource the fulfillment. They really don't give a shit about the vehicle that's going to get them from A to Z, that's going to get them from 10K to 100K. They care about how quickly you can do it and how well you can do it. That's really it, okay? And they don't really care about any of the nitty gritty, right? That's why they're paying you to fucking do it, okay? And again, if we can solve those problems for rich people, that's going to certainly help, because that means that we can make more money, because we get paid in correlation to the level of complexity of the problem we solve and the person that we solve it for, right? I would much rather solve a problem for somebody making $5 million a year than somebody that's making $1,000 a year, because who's going to pay us more money, right? Because a lot of money to somebody making $1,000 a year would be like $500. A lot of money to somebody making $5 million a year might be like $1 million, as an example. So I would rather solve rich people problems simply because I'm going to make more money with that. So when people come into this like new sexy AI infrastructure thing, they think they're going to get rich and it doesn't cost anything and it's super easy. They think everybody wants AI. The reality is, people know they need AI in some way or another, but there's like this big gap in the market right now. And I call it like the learning curve gap, where a lot of people know about AI, they know it could probably help them, but they don't know how to actually use it. And they don't know how it can benefit them directly. And the only people that know they need AI are people like me, who already have a team of developers and are already ahead of the curve, right? But most businesses are not sophisticated enough to know that they need AI. So the solution is pretty damn simple, because there's always going to be evergreen problems in every single business. For example, a lot of businesses struggle with getting leads, getting clients or customers through the door. A lot of businesses struggle with managing their team and hiring people. They might have a supply issue instead of a demand, meaning they struggle to hire more than they struggle getting leads through the door and people that want to buy their stuff. These are evergreen problems, and they're going to be obviously dependent on the niche and the business model and things like that. But the solution is pretty damn simple. You need to use AI to fulfill on evergreen problems that are always going to be in every single business model, or solving painful problems that were already there before AI came along. Because when you solve existing problems, but you figure out a way to use AI within that, your profit margin is going to be way higher, meaning you're going to make way more money, but you're still going to be solving an evergreen problem. And chances are, if you're leveraging AI like other people probably aren't, you're going to be able to do it quicker, faster, and cheaper than anybody else in the market, which instantly gives you a competitive advantage over everybody, okay? And this is why I encourage you to not get stuck in the narrow thinking that everybody wants AI, everybody needs AI. They want to solve their problems. Whether you do that with AI or not, they quite frankly don't give a shit. They just care if you solve their fucking problem, okay? Now again, I just want to preface this before people start putting in the comments, oh my God, you sell AI, what are you talking about? I'm not saying AI is not important and businesses don't need it. I'm saying we're in a learning curve gap right now where people know about AI and they probably do need it, but they don't exactly know how it can benefit them directly, unless they're extremely sophisticated, which is the 1% of the 1% of the 1%. It's not a lot of people. So again, the solution is pretty damn simple. You pick a problem common amongst a group of people, a niche, you figure out how to solve that problem with AI because you've got a lower fulfillment cost, and then you sell it for a premium and make a boatload of profit. Now, to give you an example of how I do this, my clients, like most people, struggle with not having enough business coming through the door. They don't have enough clients, right? Because I work with medical clinics. Now, could I try and sell them a fancy AI bot that will nurture their leads? I absolutely could, but that's not tangible. And what I mean by that is I can't go to my clients and say, when you implement this AI bot, I can guarantee you're going to make an extra 100K next month. So I can go to this medical clinic that has heard about AI but has no idea how it's going to benefit them, and I can go to them and say, I'm going to sell them this AI bot, but what they're going to do is they're going to come back to me and go, well, that sounds great, Cameron, but what the fuck is that going to do for me? Like, they want the outcome. They do not want the vehicle. Okay, I hope you get the point by now. But I can't tie something tangible to that. I can't say this is going to make you another 100K this month. But if I simply solve the problem to its fullest extent, I can say this. And that's what people want. They want a solution to their problem, not just one piece of the puzzle. If you're just selling like a conversational AI bot, and the client is struggling with getting leads through the door or getting people to show up. It's kind of like selling a car without wheels. What the fuck is someone going to do with just the frame of the car? They're not going to do much, right? So instead of just solving that problem, what I would then do is I can solve the entire acquisition problem where I run ads for them, which is a recurring problem, which means I can solve the problem of the AI infrastructure model being like a one-time thing. I can then charge a recurring service. Then I can nurture their leads through conversational AI, which again, I can leverage AI to get rid of the fulfillment cost of running a call center. Then I can use reporter and data collection. And then I can have even back-end upsells where I help them with coach consulting on the sales side, or I could sell them a content AI. After I've got them a lot of leads, I can then say, okay, we've built the foundation with ads. Let's add more fuel to this fire by building out an organic content engine that can allow you to get leads organically, and we can nurture the people from paid that don't buy right away, okay? So that'll be a prime example of like a full stack acquisition system that I'm using AI to solve the problem, but I can also create tangibility in the outcome that I'm selling, because then I can say, I guarantee that you're going to get 20, 30 new clients every single month, or I can guarantee that you're going to make X amount every single month. I can do that because I'm solving every single problem in the funnel to get that outcome. I'm not just solving one problem with one AI, okay? So I hope that all makes sense, and I hope this was a wake-up call for the people that are thinking so linear with like, I need to sell AI. Yes, you need to sell AI, but you need to sell the solution to people's problems. And AI is one piece of the puzzle to solve that solution, but there's probably going to be other skills that you're going to need to learn, such as running ads, such as content, such as potentially even building out CRMs and sales. You're going to need to know all of these things, okay? So I hope this makes sense, and if you want my help scaling to 10 or even 100K a month, check out the links below. Love you, bye. Hope this was helpful.